All right, this right here is solid carbon dioxide, also known as dry ice. Dry ice is very useful because it is incredibly cold. Most commonly, companies will use this to keep food products fresh when they're shipping it to their customers, but today we're gonna be using this for something a little bit different. The cool thing about dry ice is that if you put it in a container and then pour boiling hot water on it, this is what you get. Now, if you know me, you know I'm gonna have to try and find a way to incorporate this dry ice into a product commercial. The problem is that I haven't yet found a product that fits with this dry ice theme until today. The sponsor of today's video, Cometeer, asked me if I would like to try some of their flash frozen specialty coffee. That's right, flash frozen at negative 321 degrees Fahrenheit to be exact. You see, what Cometeer does is they use top tier beans from the world's best roasters. They grind and brew the coffee fresh with incredible precision, and then it's flash frozen to lock in all of those delicious flavors and aromas of that freshly ground and brewed coffee. Now, to make the coffee at home, all you have to do is grab your little frozen capsule, open it up, and then pop that frozen puck of coffee into a glass. Then take your hot water, pour it in there, and congratulations, you have yourself a fresh cup of coffee. Like your coffee's iced? No problem. Simply pour a melted capsule into 6 to 8 ounces of cold water and ice for a delicious, rich iced coffee. Similarly, for an iced latte, you can add your melted capsule to 6 ounces of milk or a dairy alternative of your choice. And these are just a few of the many ways you can enjoy your Cometeer coffee. So go to cometeer.com/Daniel Schiffer to get 16 free cups with your first order. All right, so here's the plan. We're gonna be creating a product commercial for this little frozen coffee capsule here, and I wanna make it extra dramatic. We've got the dark backdrop, we've got the props, the ice tongs, the black latex gloves. All these little details are gonna really add to that dark and mysterious mood that I want for this video. Now, very important is we're also gonna be using that dry ice effect we talked about before to really drive home that flash frozen cold aspect of the product. But I also wanna give this video a little bit of a secondary theme. Because the name of the product is Cometeer, and if you go to their website, the front page has the slogan, "A new day has arrived on Earth for coffee," I'm getting a lot of space vibes. So I think if we go with something kind of out of this world, Apollo 11 inspired, that will just add another layer to this video to really tie it all together. As always, I've got my shot list here that breaks down the steps of preparing the coffee, and I think we're just gonna go for it. All right, so first things first, we're gonna close the curtains because we want full control over our lighting, and we're gonna be starting with our widest shot of the sequence with the Sony a7S III and the Zeiss Batis 40mm. So the idea for this opening sequence is to have the cooler in hand. We're gonna place it down on the table here. I have the remote in my pocket for the light. So we're gonna start with placing the cooler down on the table in the center of our frame. After that, we're gonna be opening it up. And then finally, using our tongs, we're gonna pull out the coffee capsule from the cooler. Now, my hope is that once we add the dry ice to the cooler, it'll give us that smoky effect that resembles a spaceship, either taking off or landing with all that smoke billowing up. So that's what we're going for with this first shot. Now, because the label on our coffee capsule is that purple color, we're gonna be using an Aperture MC light, also set to a similar purple color, just to give us a little bit of an accent light on our subject. The next step is to add our dry ice to the cooler. When you're working with dry ice, you do need to be careful. You can actually get frostbite or burn your skin from how cold these pellets are, which is why you need hand protection and ideally some kind of apparatus to. You're also gonna wanna make sure that you're using this stuff in a well-ventilated area that isn't enclosed. And the last thing I'll say is if you have pets at home, like a pet dog, you wanna keep them away from the dry ice because the fumes can actually be toxic, or so I've read online. So all we're gonna do now is make sure that everything is centered in the frame and in focus. We're gonna hit record, and we're gonna add our hot water. Looking good. Let's shut this, but not all the way, and grab our handle. And we're just gonna place this down in the center of the frame as best as we can. In 3, 2, 1. One more time. In 3, 2, 1. I think that was good. And now, without moving the cooler, I'm very carefully gonna put the handle down and open it up. Oh yeah. That looks good. And then finally, we have our Cometeer capsule in our tongs. Mix this around a little bit. 3, 2, 1. I think that was good. So that should just about do it for the 40 millimeter. So we're gonna switch over to our 90 mil macro now for our next shots. So right now I'm just gonna set focus with the capsule in the middle of the frame, and the idea is to just move it around in my hand and twirl it. The objective with this shot is for the capsule to appear like some kind of really important or precious item. Now sometimes products like this are labeled with some kind of stamp and they'll have expiry dates and things like that, and if you want to get rid of it, all you have to do is use a razor blade and you can simply just scratch it right off. So I'm just gonna hit record and start twirling this around in the frame. I love that the light is only on one side of the capsule. It's almost like the dark side of the moon. Now, fun fact, these capsules are actually sustainable and 100% recyclable because when you're done with the product, there's no leftover grounds and residue inside the capsule. So you can toss it straight into the recycling bin, which is pretty cool. All right, so I've been doing this for a couple of minutes now and we should have something in there that works. So I'm gonna end it there. All right, so the next step in the process is to get a shot of the label being peeled back on the capsule. And we're gonna cheat this a little bit by having the capsule pre-peeled and emptied. And what I actually wanna do is get some dry ice inside of there so that when we peel it back, we get that smoky, cool effect. And we're just gonna drop that in there. Gonna hit record and make sure everything is in focus. Gonna add a little bit of water, not too much. And I'm just gonna wait for it to calm down a little bit, and I'm gonna try and seal this as best as I can. And pretty much what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start peeling this back until we get a take that looks pretty good and believable. Wasn't bad. Just gonna fix that there. Try a bit slower. I should also mention that all of the shots we've gotten so far have been in 4K at 120 frames per second because I do intend on slowing most of these down. And our next shot is going to be the shot where we use the tongs to extract the coffee puck out of the capsule. So we need a coffee puck. So what I'm gonna do here is just remove a puck from another capsule. It smells so good. I'm just gonna add some water. There we go. And we're just gonna move this up and down. Ooh, that was cool. Nice. Okay, one of those should be pretty good, so we're gonna end it there and move along to our next shot. Just gonna move this out of the way. And now we've got our beaker here where we're gonna take our coffee puck, just very gently plop it in there. Now I do want this a little bit further back, so I just have to adjust my focus, hit record. Don't really need to move the camera. And we're just gonna swirl this around. That looks so good. Just gotta keep doing it because you never know what's gonna be in focus and what's not when you're going this fast. But let's end that and get our next shot. Now for our final shot of the video, I'm gonna move the camera back a whole bunch because we want it to be wider to get the whole beaker in the frame. That looks good. Just gonna make sure this is centered. All right, we got a couple more pieces of dry ice here. We're just gonna pop it into this container and we're gonna make sure that it is not in the shot. That looks good. We're gonna pour hot water on it. Awesome. Hit record, double check our focus and make sure everything is centered. Now for this shot, we're shooting in 240 frames per second in S and Q mode. We need that extra slow motion for that final shot to really see that coffee bubbling. So now we're gonna go ahead, make sure that this is looking good. That looks cool. All right, so now comes the point in the video where I'm going to totally embarrass myself by attempting to record a voiceover for this commercial. Because we're going with an Apollo 11 themed video, I'm going to try and do a mission control style voiceover, and we're just going to go for it.
Cometeer, 15 seconds, clear to initiate the extraction process. We have successful extraction, please prepare for melting.
So I'm gonna add a lot of effects to that, like a walkie-talkie and a vintage radio to really disguise my horrible impression of a transatlantic mission control voice. But let's put it on the video and see how it goes.
Cometeer, 15 seconds, clear to initiate the extraction process. We have successful extraction. Please prepare for melting. Cometeer, a new day has arrived on Earth for coffee.
So which version of the video did you prefer? Personally, I think the idea of the voiceover was cool, but I don't think I could fully execute that style of voiceover, at least in the way I envisioned it. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, which version you liked better. But that is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you would like to get 16 free cups on your first Cometeer order, then go to the link in the description below, or go to cometeer.com/Daniel Schiffer. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on Instagram at Daniel.Schiffer. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video.